Now, as the Warbirds Air Show wound down over Easter last weekend in Wanaka, a campaign was fully underway to save some of our country's early commercial airplanes. It's called Bring Our Birds Home, and it aims to stop New Zealand's aviation history from ending up on the scrap heap in Korea even. And on the phone to talk about this, aircraft enthusiast, founder of the Bring Our Birds Home campaign, Paul Brennan. Hi, Paul.
Kia ora, Trudy. Thanks for having me on.
Lovely to have you here. Tell us about our Bring Our Birds Home campaign to save our history.
We've been going for over a year now. We sort of started off with zero and have now got 3,000 followers on our social media. We've had nearly $25,000 in donations come in. And over that time, we've been building this campaign to where now we're starting to really get out there in the public and get it in front of people. We're going for a charitable trust status for our trust that we've just set up. And we're really going to be going full on into fundraising this year to secure those, eventually 5 airframes, but we have 3 that are high priority. And these are the derelict ones that will be scrapped if we don't get in and save them really quick. And that is the priority exercise at the moment.
Oh, good on you. When did it all really sort of start to bubble away? How did it sort of come about, and who, besides you, made it all happen?
A couple of years ago, a few enthusiast friends, plane spotters as we're known, and they're great people, by the way, almost as good as train spotters, were just interested in finding out if any of the original fleets from the early part of the jet era. We're talking about the jet era here, just after the flying boats. So that's from the late 50s onwards. We wondered if any of them still existed. And when I say any of them, I mean the actual original members of the fleets. Aircraft that New Zealand Airlines ordered, had delivered and operated, some for, 30 or so years. And we expected to find none. Incredibly, we found that there was one example of the 5 left in the world, just one. So really, when you find that out, you've got no option. You either want to save them because they're important artifacts of our transportation and social history, or you let them go, and that wasn't an option. So we've effectively saved them. We've got the scrapping on hold at the moment. They would have been scrapped by now, probably 2 of them. So we've achieved that. Now we want to swoop in, we want to buy them, and we want to end up displaying them down in Wanaka, right next to the Wanaka Airport at the National Transport and Toy Museum, which is a fantastic venue. The land is there, 1.7 million tourists through there in the last year, and a fantastic attraction for decades ahead. So the exercise now is to do the deals, pay over the money, and to then have them transported back home.
Yeah, good on you. And Wanaka, great spot there. That toy museum is just phenomenal. As the mother of 3 boys, I've been down there twice, and it's absolutely incredible.
Well, you can imagine your boys standing underneath a huge jet airliner. It's going to be awesome for kids.
Yeah.
And I really think that we need to do a better job of preserving our artifacts. We're good at little things, not at big things. And I think future generations, like your boys and boys and girls yet to come, they will need to be able to get up close and personal with our history, and this is the way to do it.
It's not easy to store a plane, so where are the planes now, because you've saved them from the scrap heap, and who actually owns them?
Okay, that's a very good question. They're scattered all around the world. 3 of them are derelict, 2 are still operating. The oldest one is still operating, which is just incredible. It's been converted to a fire bomber in Canada. It fights forest fires. That was a Teal Electra turboprop airliner delivered to Teal, the forerunner of Air New Zealand, in 1959. The DC-8, which was the airliner that got us into the international jet age, we've got the 3rd one that was delivered, the only one left. That's derelict at Manaus Airport in Brazil in the Amazon jungle. There's one DC-10. You remember the DC-10 tragedy of Erebus? Well, this is the sister ship of the aircraft that crashed, NZP crashed. This is NZS. The only one left, there were 8 of them originally, the only one left, delivered in 76, derelict at Havana Airport in Cuba. And the 737, now the one that we're talking about is the actual aircraft that flew the first domestic commercial jet service on the 7th of October 1968, so history-making. That's derelict on an airfield in North Carolina, USA. And the only 747 that remains from the Air New Zealand fleets is still flying in Spain. That will be flying for another 5 years. We've spoken to the owners. We've got first right of approval when that comes up for scrapping. So those are the 5.
Beautiful. Paul Brennan, aircraft enthusiast. What does it cost to recover them and get them back?
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
The real expense is in dismantling them. They have to be professionally dismantled because obviously we need to display them at the other end, and the authenticity of the display is determined by the professionalism of the dismantling. That's expensive, but we've got some good help from around the world. We've got Russians and Americans helping us there. You could call that Russian collusion, I suppose. And also, we need transportation. We've got a transportation partner but it's expensive to ship these large items back to the country. So really we'll be looking to raise in the vicinity of $750, $900 million, just a house in Auckland to save our history, nothing much. And that will get us the 3 derelicts home, and we can worry about the other 2 that won't be available for another 3 to 5 years later on. So that's really what we're in for.
All right, Paul, so if someone's listening and wants to financially support you, how do they go about doing it?
Well, at the moment, we've got a Give a Little page, and that's easy, givealittle.co.nz/course/Bring Our Birds Home. We're on a Facebook page. But also, we're just about to receive our charitable trust status, and once that's occurred, we'll be able to solicit large donations, which will be tax deductible. We'll go around to the big corporates and some of the other entities that have expressed interest and round it up. But we will get there because it's important. We have to save these artifacts. They're more than just machines. It's all about the people. Over 8 million people have flown on these aircraft. Think of all the stories, all the backstories involved in there. They all come together in 5 airframes. We need to save them.
And good on you. Paul Brennan, aircraft enthusiast, founder of the Bring Our Birds Home campaign. Follow them on Facebook or find them on givealittle.co.nz. The recovery and restoration mission will not come cheap.